Good evening and a very warm welcome to RTM News. My name is Vicky Lee White and I'll be bringing you all the top stories tonight. Starting with the South African news headline, 6 steal police van while being escorted to court. 3 killed in KZN truck crash. Judgment expected in John Block fraud case and court to give reasons for al-Bashir's ruling. In the top story, 6 steal police van while being escorted to court. 6 awaiting trial prisoners escaped after overpowering a police officer while being escorted to court, Limpopo police said. One of the inmates overpowered the policeman and all 6 of them made off with the state vehicle. I quote, "In the process, 6 awaiting trial prisoners facing charges ranging from murder, theft, assault and grievous bodily harm escaped," said police spokesperson Brunel Otto. The vehicle was later found abandoned 25 kilometers from the scene at Tovohane village near Malamulela. In the next story, 3 killed in KZN truck crash. 3 people were killed this morning when 2 trucks collided on the N3 near Howick. KwaZulu-Natal Road Traffic Inspectorate spokesperson Zinhle Ngomezulu said that a truck traveling northwards careened across the centre median into oncoming traffic near the Lions River off-ramp north of Howick at about 5 o'clock. It collided with another truck and both vehicles careened down an embankment. Judgment expected in John Block fraud case. Judgment is expected to be handed down by the Northern Cape High Court today in the trial of ANC Provincial Chairperson John Block, Alvin Boetes, and Trifecta Director Christo Scholz, who are accused of fraud, corruption and money laundering. The charges relate to government building leases amounting to millions of rands. The National Prosecuting Authority alleged that the Trifecta Group entered into a number of lease agreements with the Northern Cape Social Development Department in which rentals or rental space were grossly inflated. The accused have pleaded not guilty to all the charges against them or their companies. And the final South African story, court to give reasons for al-Bashir ruling. The High Court in Pretoria is today expected to give its reasons for its ruling that Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir be kept in South Africa and arrested. On June 15th, the court ruled the failure to detain al-Bashir was inconsistent with the constitution, and he must be detained pending a formal request from the ICC. The ruling was made by Judge President Dunstan Mlambo along with Judge President Audrey Ledwaba and Judge Hans Fabricius. I quote, "The respondents are compelled to take reasonable steps to arrest President al-Bashir without a warrant and detain him pending a formal request from his surrender from the International Criminal Court," Mlambo said. That's all the South African news I have for you tonight. We're going to go for a short break and I'll be back with the rest of the African news.
His Falls Church invites you to our media Thanksgiving team celebrating the victories of Christ. Host Pastor Shew and Lola Salako. Ministering Apostle Mike Ipitoye, Winning Life Church, Cape Town. Ministering in songs Pastor King and Vitos Eze and the HPC Choir. Date Friday 26th June to Sunday 28th June 2015, and the time is 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Sunday 9 a.m. morning session and 3 p.m. worship concert. The venue is HPC Plot 79 Bayanot Drive, Sandsprit Agricultural Holdings, Alpha Sales Complex, Honeydew. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praise of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9.
I heard about his healing.
Welcome back to RTM News. If you're just joining us, we're having a look at the African stories, starting with the headlines. Fire destroys parts of largest market in Kenya. Mali asks UN to take on drug traffickers fueling conflict. New child sex abuse claims in car. And Guinea opposition seeks alliance with former coup leader. In the top story, fire destroys parts of largest market in Kenya. Officials say a fire has consumed parts of Kenya's largest market, destroying an area where vendors sell second-hand clothes imported from Western countries. Nairobi Police Chief Benjamin Kibu said yesterday the cause of the fire in Gikomba Market in Nairobi remains unclear. Isabel Githinji, a businesswoman who was among those affected, estimated that property worth millions of dollars had been destroyed. Mali asks the UN to take on drug traffickers fueling conflict. Mali asked the United Nations yesterday to take on drug traffickers and roll out an emergency aid package after a peace deal was signed to end violence in the north. Foreign Minister Abdoulaye Diop told the Security Council that the UN peacekeeping force must help restore state authority in the north after an Islamist takeover in 2012 plunged the country into turmoil. New child sex abuse claims in Car. A UN peacekeeping contingent serving in the Central African Republic is suspected of sexually abusing street children in Bangui, a UN spokesperson said yesterday. The UN mission in Bangui has notified the troop contributing country of the allegations and has opened an investigation, said Stefan Dujarric. The country of origin was not identified, but a UN official said it was an African contingent. And in the final story, Guinea opposition seeks alliance with former coup leader. The head of Guinea's main opposition party is seeking an alliance with the former leader of a 2008 military coup in an effort to defeat President Alpha Condé at elections in October, his spokesperson said yesterday. Sello Dalein Diallo, the leader of the Union of Democratic Forces of Guinea, met Captain Moussa Dadis Camara on Friday in the capital of Burkina Faso, where he has been in exile since early 2010. Camara, who has strong support in Guinea's southeastern forest region, announced in early May he would contest the October 11 presidential vote at the head of the Patriotic Front for Democracy and Development. That's the rest of the African news I have for you tonight. We're going to go for a quick break and I'll be back with the Nigerian stories.
Hi singles! Ever wondered why it seems you can't get over some heartbreaks even after you've moved on in love? Ever wondered why you seem tied up to some people even when you no longer feel attracted to them? Well, join other singles and unearth the realities and challenges of soul ties in a powerful interactive session this July. It's Exhale for Singles with Pastors Jim and Jumoke Bent at 81 Holt Street, Parkmore, Santon on Wednesday, 1st July by 6 p.m. Focus: Soul Ties. Invite your single friends, lover, prospect, stalker, and anyone who means anything to you to this no-holds-barred session guaranteed to bless you. Our details are +27 11 783 5168 or +27 78 315 0097. Email info@houseontherocksa.org and website www.houseontherockng.com/sa. Exhale, express yourself.
Welcome back to Rtm News. We're having a look at the Nigerian stories tonight. Let's start with the headlines. Child suicide bomber kills 10, and Nigeria's Buhari says government is short of money. In the first story, child suicide bomber kills 10. A suicide bomber believed to be about 12 blew herself up in a market in northeast Nigeria's insurgencies plagued Yobe State, residents and medics said. The blast yesterday killed 10 people and injured more than 30 others. The bomber detonated explosives among traders and customers at a weekly market in the remote Wagir village. In the next story, Nigeria's Buhari says government is short of money. Nigeria's treasury is virtually empty, President Muhammadu Buhari has said. He vowed to recover billions of dollars stolen under previous administrations. Mr. Buhari held talks with state governors over the lack of money to pay government workers their salaries. That's all the Nigerian news I have for you tonight. We're going to go for our final break and I'll be back with the international news.
The Redeemed Christian Church of God invites you to our special Holy Ghost service in conjunction with the School of Disciples 8th Annual Convention. Theme, that you may have life. Date, 2nd to the 3rd July 2015. And the time is Thursday 2nd July 2015. The time is 8:30 p.m. Friday 3rd July. The time is 8:30 a.m. Venue, Redemption Camp Kilometer 46, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, Ogun State, Nigeria. Conveners, Pastor Mrs. Folu Adeboye, wife of the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God and Vice Presidency RM Education. Pastor E.A. Adeboye, President and General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. For more information, please visit our website on www.rccg.org. You can't afford to miss this special time with God because the Lord Almighty God will give you life and life in abundance. Jesus is the same yesterday and today and forever. See you there.
Welcome back to Rtm News. If you're just joining us, we're having a look at the international stories. Let's start with the headlines. White supremacist group stands by racist ideology. North Korea sentences 2 South Koreans to hard labor. Death toll crosses 800 people in Sindh. And police raid Toyota headquarters. In the top story, white supremacist group stands by racist ideology. Leaders of the organization cited in Dylan Roof's alleged manifesto defend many of his ideas as legitimate, though they condemn last week's shooting in Charleston. The core principles of the Missouri-based Council of Conservative Citizens mirror many of the sentiments within a racist manifesto believed to have been authored by Roof, such as beliefs that the white race is under attack and that black-on-white crimes largely go unreported. In the next story, North Korea sentences 2 South Koreans to hard labor. 2 South Korean citizens detained in North Korea on charges of spying have been sentenced to hard labor for life, the South Korean Ministry of Unification said yesterday. North Korea first announced the arrest of Kim Kuk-ji and Shu Chun-jil in March. The 2 are among 4 South Koreans known to be detained by the communist country. Death toll crosses 800 people in Sindh. The death toll from a heat wave in Pakistan's southern Sindh province has passed 800, hospital officials say, as mortuaries reached capacity. At least 780 people have died in Karachi, BBC Urdu reported. Another 30 deaths were reported elsewhere in the province, state-owned PTV said. The Eddie Welfare Organization told AFP that the mortuaries had received hundreds of corpses and were now full. And in the final story tonight, police raid Toyota headquarters. Police have raided the headquarters of Toyota Motor in Toyota City, as well as its office in Tokyo. It comes after the arrest of senior American executive Julie Hamp on suspicion of importing a controlled substance into Japan. Toyota President Akio Toyoda said last week that he believes she did not intend to violate the law. It is unclear what authorities were looking for in the raid, which is common after an arrest. And that's all the news that I have for you tonight, but don't go anywhere as we're crossing over to Adalani for the sports.
And let us not neglect our meeting together, as some people do. But let us encourage one another, especially now that the day of return is drawing nearer. Beloved, are you in Southern Africa and you wish to join the gathering this year of the Redeemed Christian Church of God's National Convention 2015, coming up in August, and don't know how to go about it? Worry no more, for there is a full package to arrange your visa, air tickets, and accommodation for affordable price. Worship the Lord your God, and His blessing will be on your food and water, and He shall take away sickness from among you. Stop listening to people's testimony. Let the world hear your testimony this time, because none shall be barren in the land.
For more inquiries on bookings, please call the following numbers. Sanda Nomusakuto, +2771 1871443. Baba Tokwe Jide, +2783 26255767. There will be teaching, preaching, and words of blessings from our Dad in the Lord, Pastor E.A. Adeboye, who will be ministering alongside with other men of God. We serve a living God. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, and today, and forever.
His name, He alone deserves our highest praise.
Good evening and a warm welcome to you all. You're currently watching RTM Sports News with me, Adelani Ogurede. These are the top stories this evening. In African sports news, Keshi and Inyama await NFF rulings. In international football news, Liverpool confirmed the signing of Roberto Firmino. In more international football news, Japan progresses to the Women's World Cup quarter-finals. In cricket news, England versus New Zealand, Joe Root and Mark Wood inspire win. And lastly, in athletics news, Zanel Hughes targets 2016 Rio Olympics. Starting with the latest in African football news, Coach Stephen Keshi met with the Nigerian Football Federation's NFF Disciplinary Committee yesterday to answer questions on why his name appeared on a list of candidates to manage Ivory Coast. However, goalkeeper Vincent Inyama declined the chance to appear to answer questions about comments he made about playing an international match in Kaduna. The NFF Executive Board will have the final say on any punishment on a date yet to be decided. Moving on to international football news, Liverpool have signed forward Roberto Firmino from Hoffenheim for a fee of about £29 million on a long-term contract. The 23-year-old's deal is subject to a medical, which will take place after he returns from Chile, where he has been playing for Brazil in the Copa America. In more international football news, holders Japan held off the Netherlands 2-1 to progress to the Women's World Cup quarter-finals. In cricket news, England thrashed New Zealand by 56 runs in the one-off 2020 international at Old Trafford. And lastly, athletics news. Teenage sprinter Zanel Hughes says he is targeting the 2016 Rio Olympics after switching allegiance to compete for Team GB. The 19-year-old was born on the British overseas territory of Anguilla, but has held a British passport since birth. So that rounds up all the sports news I have for you all this evening. Please do enjoy the rest of your RTM viewing and the rest of your evening. It's a good night from me, Adelani Ogurede. Let's cross over back to Vicky.
Thank you very much, Adelani, for the sports update. Now let's have a look at the weather. That's all the news we have for you tonight here at RTM News from me, Vicky Lee White. I do hope you have a lovely evening and we'll see you again tomorrow.